Greetings, guys. Welcome back to the channel. I already got my nails filed, shaped, and prepped. So we're going to go ahead and get started on this nail set. I'm not even going to lie. Gonna keep it real. I messed up a lot on this nail set. Literally. My foundation was off. My cuticle beads was off. Everything that day was just so off. But I wanted to keep all of this in the video because I wanted you guys to know that it doesn't matter how long you've been doing nails. As a nail tech, you can still have good days and bad days. So let's go ahead and get started. What I'm doing now, I am placing my French tip bead, and you kind of want to make sure that you don't wipe as much acrylic off as I did. But if you do tend to wipe a lot of acrylic off like that, just basically continue to go around the area of the nail just to ensure you're going ahead and giving yourself that crispy look. So continue to wipe on the sides and up under the beginning of the nail tip. Secondly, you want to go ahead and grab your second bead, which will be between the natural nail and the nail tip. And you just want to make sure that you flush that all the way down to make sure that it does not have a harsh line when you're doing a second layer of your bead. So continue to pat it down with the body of the brush to make sure that you're giving yourself that flawless, flushed look. Right here is when I realized that I really did mess up. My cuticle bead was just way too big, and it's actually I'm going to try my best to prevent it from flooding the cuticle, but it really did flood the cuticle, so I had to go back and I had to clean a lot of that up. But yeah, if that does happen, guys, just use the tip of your brush to wipe around the cuticle area to ensure that you clean up as much acrylic that's on the skin as possible, because if not, that definitely can cause lifting on your nails. At this point, I was so aggravated with how my French tip nails was coming out, but I was like, I'm just going to continue to just go through with the entire set because I can fix it with the nail file. But I am going ahead and placing my cuticle bead on my pinky nail, and you want to make sure that you are building the apex with these French tip nails, especially if you are choosing not to encapsulate them. So next we're grabbing the yellow acrylic. Honestly, this yellow acrylic was a little darker than I expected it to be, but it still turned out pretty good. With these new age acrylic brands, they kind of are slow setters, so you want to make sure that you sit the powder on the nail for a little while and then start working it, so therefore it can, I guess, kind of sort of be easy to pat down. But you just got to be patient with these acrylic powders here. Next, I have my second bead that I'm placing between the natural nail tip and the fake nail tip. You want to make sure when you're doing the ombre that you are making the bottom of the base color as flush and as thin as possible, because you don't want to give yourself that harsh line when you're getting ready to ombre, because if you do that, it's really going to be so hard to be able to get a flawless ombre look. So just remember to make sure that when you are placing the second bead of the acrylic on the nail, that you make sure that it's actually super thin at the base, so therefore the ombre can float flawlessly. So right here is when I knew I messed up yet again. The bead was just way too big, and I was supposed to be ombreing it, so I can't have too much of a thick layer of acrylic on there, otherwise the ombre would not be flawless. So I had to take a lot of that acrylic powder off. So I guess the tip you can learn, guys, is try to like eyeball it and be like very cautious about how much powder that you put on your brush. So when you're getting ready to file the French tip, just make sure that you are not pressing too much to where you're actually scraping your client's skin, because yeah, that can very be traumatic and you don't want that to happen. So just be cautious when you're filing a round, especially when you're getting really close to the cuticle area, considering the fact this is a deep French tip. So you're going to be really close to their nails, to their fingers. So to my surprise, I use way too much powder once again on this nail. So you kind of want to try to take it off, but if you can't, do your best to try to blend as much of it in. Me personally, I don't like my ombres to go all the way up like that. I prefer to have the base color show more and then flawlessly flush out the color with the nude acrylic, but obviously I didn't do that, and I just had to continue to keep brushing and brushing just to get that flawless seamless look, because you remember, you do not want to have any harsh lines when it comes to the ombre. You want to make sure that both colors collide together. And here again is when I messed up yet again. That cuticle bead is just way too big. Remember, guys, you do not want to make your cuticle bead too big to where it's going to actually overflow the cuticles, because therefore that's when you're going to get lifting. That's when your clients are going to be calling you like, hey girl, what's going on with my nails? My nails are lifting. If you don't clean up that cuticle right, then I'm telling you now, your nails are going to lift. So it's best to me personally to work in small increments when it comes to the cuticle bead. If you can lay like a nice little bead down perfectly flawlessly to the cuticle area, then baby girl, flawless, immaculate application. Now what you see me using this is clear acrylic. When you're doing any type of ombre, you want to make sure that you're encapsulating this in clear acrylic. And if you did not build your apex during the time you was applying the nude acrylic on top of the base color of the nail, then you want to make sure that you're at least building the apex with the clear acrylic. Now, make sure you do not make your nails too bulky. Look at it side to side, up, down, front, back. It don't matter. Make sure you look at it at all angles, because some angles you probably won't be able to see the mistakes you made. So now we're going to go ahead and lay the bead onto the French tip nail. Now me personally, I'm not an advocate of having the most messiest French tip just so you can aka get the reveal. I ain't even gonna lie to you, I'm not about to sit up here and work that hard. Sweetie, ain't cutting it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna do my best of laying the acrylic on top of this French tip as clean as possible. Therefore, I will have less cleanup. Now, when it comes to the French tips, you don't have to encapsulate these. It literally just depends on if you build your apex and if you have enough thickness to the nail. But if you don't have an apex and if you don't have enough thickness to the base of the nail and the tip of the nail, then you will want to encapsulate it with clear acrylic while also building your apex. So here I'm just basically repeating the same steps on this French tip as I did on the other French tip. So now we're grabbing our 5-in-1 cuticle bit, and we're actually going to flush out the cuticles. I have this on, I think, like either a 4 or a 5. You don't want to have it up too high. But yes, you want to just make sure that you're flushing this out to remove any of the excess acrylic that's on the skin and to ensure that the enhancement lasts longer. Now we're getting our hand file and we're just filing the sides of the nail to ensure we get that crispy shape. If you made it to this far of the video, I just want to say thank you so much for watching and tuning into my channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, as it does help my algorithm. Have a great day.